Hi. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dom. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I typically make bookish content, movie content, and anything else in between because I like to do whatever I want on this channel, and tonight is going to be bookish content. For today's video, I am vlogging my entire experience of reading the Demon Slayer manga. I've been promising my friends for so long that I was finally going to complete this manga. I promised them after watching season 2, I'm like, okay, I'll read it. And I was gonna read it this year, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, season 3 comes out in April. It is now February 7th, so my goal is to finish all 23 volumes by April.
Full-time professional, rated by One Family Magazine, #1 clown.
Before I jump into it, I just want to let you guys know like where I kind of stand with the series. I have seen what's out of the anime so far, so from the beginning all the way to the end of the Entertainment District arc. I am loving Demon Slayer. I know like it's such a hot topic on Twitter. You either love the series, hate it. I haven't consumed a lot of anime and manga specifically, but as someone who reads a lot and consumes just a lot of media in general, Demon Slayer is one of my favorite stories. I do absolutely adore these characters, which is why it's one of my favorite series like of all time. I really love Tanjiro as a main character. I like having, to me, I don't want to call him a soft boy because he can stand on his own if he needs to. But I like someone who's kind and caring like he is and like kind of like not afraid to cry. My favorite characters are Giyu and Shinobu. I do know Shinobu's fate by the end of the manga. I'm so fucking pissed. That was spoiled for me a few years ago though. I don't know anyone else's fate though. I did have a hard time with Inosuke at first, but he grew on me. I have a very hard time with Zenitsu, but that's because of the anime, I think. Just because in the anime he doesn't fucking stop screaming and it drives me crazy. I feel like I will like him a lot better in the manga because I'm not going to hear him. Let's see, these demon backstories make me more emotional than they should. I cried when Rengoku died. That's all I have to say about this right now. So I do want to just jump right into this because it is 10:30 at night and I only have like an hour and a half left until I have to go to bed for work tomorrow. But I think that's it for this intro. It's already very, very long, so I'm just going to jump into reading. My man! Screaming at his face. I read the first 2 chapters. There's a lot of nostalgia going on. I will say though, the anime seemed to have added a lot more emotion to the storytelling, not just because of like voice acting and music and it's colored and actually moving. It's not frames. I just mean that the author put a little less action between panels than I thought there would be, especially since there's so much action in the anime. It feels almost kind of choppy. It's a very choppy pacing right now in both chapters. It's weird because the major action is there, but I would just like to see the between of the 2 big actions. The art style of this manga is up for debate of whether or not it's good. It reminds me of like a comic book style though, and I'm actually really enjoying it. And it's so funny to me how things could be just so detailed, especially the eyes. The eyes could go from being detailed and just to 2 black dots or those big circles with the tiny black dots in the middle. I think that's hilarious and like part of the comedy. I've noticed a lot of the storytelling in the comedy itself is in her drawings, not so much the dialogue. The dialogue can be a little corny. See why the anime does this too, because sometimes the anime like they will say what you are watching and it's like, okay, you don't need to say everything. I have eyes, but I've noticed she does it. She is in the author. I noticed she does that in the manga as well. She draws everything really well, but it's like you don't need to tell me in the exposition. I could see that he's barred to a tree, you know? I will continue tomorrow after work, hopefully. Girl, who knows? Also, look at my shirt. It's modern day Ozai's Angels, and I'm obsessed. I don't really like the the wording here, but like, I like this fan art too much, so, you know, we're just gonna ignore it. Look how cool it is. I'm screaming. This is so funny. Okay, so it is 12:50 in the morning on February 12th. So I finished volume 1 of Demon Slayer, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I forgot how intense Sabito was. He was a little, like, douchebaggy, but I don't want to use that term to actually describe him, just because he wasn't actually being douchebaggy. He was just giving tough love because he knew that, you know, Tanjiro could do it, just had to push him a bit. And finding out how Sabito and Makomo died, I knew they died from that, like, weird hand thing in the final selection, but I just forgot how intense it was. Like, Makomo had her arms and legs pulled off, no thank you, and Sabito had his head smashed, also no thank you. And it was really cool to see the breathing styles in the manga. And I was reading about it too. I do find it interesting that the manga creator, the mangaka, she just did it as like an art style choice, like, because in canon, in universe, you don't actually see, you know, the water flying, and then later the fire flying, and then Shinobu's butterflies. You don't literally see that. That's just an artistic choice from the author so that you as the audience member could understand it. And I will say, near the end of volume 1, the author is finding her footing. The end of volume 1 does have better pacing. It's still kind of choppy, but definitely better. So now I'm going to start reading volume 2. Right now, volume 1 ended during the final selection when Tanjiro is fighting that, like, hand demon thing, and his sword is in the air, and that's, like, the last panel. So we're gonna move on. I started a new book. I started Paradise Lost by John Milton, the Bible fan fiction. So I started Bible fan fiction just to read about demons later. So, I mean, the Bible fan fiction's about Satan anyway, so maybe I got a theme going on. Okay, I want to do a quick check-in real quick. So, Tanjiro killed off that demon. He's back from the final selection. Him and Nezuko hug, blah, blah, blah. That was a lot more emotional in the anime. But anyway, so he gets his Nichiren sword. I don't know if this is mentioned in the anime, because I don't remember this. But apparently, the reason this specific sword works so well against demons is that it's made from the highest mountain closest to the sun. So the sun, you know, the thing that kills demons, is like part of the sword. So that makes a lot of sense. And now Tanjiro is on his way to his first ever mission. Okay, but look at all the detail in her kimono in the small ass panel. Like, that is insane to me. Hello everyone, I am chillaxing on my futon. I have finished volume 2 of Demon Slayer, and I like this a lot better than the first volume, quite frankly. This volume is where the final selection ends. Tanjiro obviously survives along with 3 other people. I now know, because I watched the anime, one is Zenitsu, Kanao, and then another dude who I guess is named Genya, from what I'm gathering on Twitter. A lot of y'all like him. But it was weird because to us, 4 people survived, and like those 2 twins looking, shining looking things that belong in the Junji Ito story, they said 5 of you survived, but only 4 people were there. So that leads me to believe that's foreshadowing for Inosuke, because Inosuke doesn't come in for a while at this point. And he comes across that one demon whose blood demon art is like zipping into the underground into a bog and then stealing girls and all that. I remember there being more detail about this demon in the anime, but I could also just be misremembering, because this arc of sorts was very short in the manga. But it's essentially what introduces the villain. Like, he can't say Muzan's name because Muzan will kill him. So we do get to the scene where we meet Muzan, and we meet Lady Tamayo, who I actually loved when watching the anime. But something I found interesting, because I forgot that this is how it happened, but Muzan recognized Tanjiro's earring, so we know now there's more to it. But like, it's so interesting how the author like introduced that concept, just because like for the longest time you think those earrings are just a character design and there's no importance. And then in the manga you see Muzan's eyes widen and then zoomed in on these earrings. I just again thought it was just a detail, a character trait, and he's so scared of them. what a way to introduce that concept, that there is so much more to this story. I don't know, because I feel like usually in other stories there's always some grand reveal, but like I feel like the earrings, I don't want to use the word subtle because I don't think that's the word I'm looking for, but what a small but impactful way to show that there's going to be more to it, and Tanjiro's a lot more important than we think he is. I wanted to check in here because she introduces a concept that I totally forgot about in the anime, because in the Entertainment District arc, the Spirit Cat came over, Tanjiro handed over like the demon's blood, and I was like, and he said, oh, that's for Lady Tamayo, and I remember being super confused because I couldn't remember why. But Lady Tamayo wants to create, she's the one who wants to create a way to turn demons back into humans, but she needs to study blood, so therefore she's going to take Nezuko's blood, and she needs blood from one of the 12 Kazuki, aka the upper and lower moons. So totally forgot about that. That is great to know, and it's so funny when it comes to Lady Tamayo, just because the way she's designed in the anime, and then when Shinobu was introduced, for a while, I actually thought those two were gonna be related. And it was actually my friend who was like, no, they just so happen to have similar character designs. So now that leads me to believe Lady Tamayo and Shinobu are gonna they're gonna get somewhat close throughout the manga. I don't know how yet, but it leads me to believe they're gonna have like a stronger role. Because it's so interesting too, because Lady Tamayo, she's a doctor, and I know from the anime that Shinobu comes from a family of doctors, and like her house, her butterfly mansion, whatever it's called, that's where people go to heal. So like they both have to come into play. They have to be important, but like together, like they're gonna be like this, right? Or am I just making that up? I don't know. But now I'm getting ahead of myself. So obviously we meet the demon who has the eyes on his hands, and then the girl with the tamari balls. And it's so funny because she's like, I'm one of the 12 Kazuki, and like, yeah, I know she's not. It basically ends with Tanjiro having the sight of Yushiro, so now he can see the arrows, and he's telling Tamayo, I will protect you, I will get that blood, blah blah blah. So, and that's the end of volume 2. I would actually leave it at that because I checked out a book from the library and I have 16 days to read it. I checked it out in the Libby app and I can't renew it because there's 10 people in line behind me. So I'm going to take a break from Demon Slayer for however long it takes me to read that other book. And then I will get back to you guys when I pick up volume 3. Hopefully it doesn't take me 2 months. I would say similar things with Death Note, and sometimes it would take me 6 months to say hello again. It's March 5th. I'm finally starting volume 3. Hello, I am back with another update. I actually did finish volume 3 like a few days ago, actually. I just never updated the vlog, so I am here because I am about to start volume 4. So the Lady Tamayo arc, that ended fairly quickly and a lot quicker than I remember it in the anime, but I've said multiple times throughout this vlog, I feel like the anime does the pacing a bit better than the manga. But I'm discovering that the parts of the anime where Nezuko like looks at Lady Tamayo and Yushiro and remembers her own family, that's anime original content. That wasn't in the manga. So I think that's nice what the anime did. In volume 3, we do get to meet Zenitsu, who, honest to God, annoys the fuck out of me. I don't like him in the anime. I'm sorry. I know he's a fan favorite, but I think he is so annoying, and it's probably because the screaming. Like, I know that's his comedic value. A lot of his comedy comes from how much he screams and how much he exaggerates everything. However, I'm not really a fan. But I do like him a bit better in the manga, but it's because I'm not listening to him screaming. I can tell by reading his speech bubbles he's supposed to be screaming, so yes, like, the voice in my head is screaming when I read his speech bubbles. But I don't have to hear it. We also get to meet Inosuke, and I forgot that him and Zenitsu, their whole introductions were so close to each other. I gave that volume about 3 out of 5 stars. It had the demon that had the drums growing on him. It was that mini arc. I remember that storyline being like one of my least favorite parts of season 1, so I wasn't a huge fan of it in the manga. It did go by pretty fast. I did forget he used to be an upper moon. I do love this cover. I'm kind of obsessed with the red. So I'm gonna get started on that. Hopefully I can finish the whole thing by tonight. Let's get reading. Okay, it's 3 in the morning. I'm so tired. But I finished volume 4 in one sitting. It's a lot better. It's my favorite volume so far. You know, this volume actually makes me feel bad that I think Zenitsu is annoying, because he is actually a very good person. Like, he knew from the start a demon was in that box, but he knew it was also important to Tanjiro, and he wants to be Tanjiro's friend so bad that he protected the box from Inosuke. And I have to respect that. And even, like, his backstory gets to me. Like, you could tell he's trying so hard to be competent, to help people. I mean, at this point, we already know that, like, once he falls asleep, that's when he's at his full power. But he's trying so hard, and people just, like, kind of made fun of him his whole life, except for Gramps. I do love Gramps, even though he kind of reminds me, this is, like, a meme, so I know I'm not alone in this, but he reminds me of the grandpa in Holes, where he's like, I don't want to do this, and he's like, that's too damn bad. That's all I can imagine. But some notable things in this is when, like, the Spider family arc begins, and that was in season 1. That was my favorite part. I feel bad for the mother, of course. She hated her demon life so much she willingly gave up herself, and Tanjiro's a sweet boy and changed the form. I wonder if more of her backstory was showed in the anime, because I feel like her backstory was a lot longer in my memory than what we're getting in the manga. There's a part of Zenitsu's flashback that I don't remember from the anime, but it's a boy essentially telling him, like, I don't understand why Sensei or Gramps is teaching you, it's useless. And he looks like a bunch of, like, fan art I've seen on Twitter and Instagram, so I wonder if this character is going to come back. But I forgot he got bitten by those, like, weird spider things. Those weird spider things remind me of that one toy in fucking Toy Story, you know, with the, like, baby doll head and, like, the like, grated metal, like, legs. Like, that's what they remind me of. And y'all know my faves are back. Shinobu and Giyu are my favorite characters. I love their dynamic, even though they, like, it's a rough dynamic. I'm kind of here for it. I love to see it. I find it hilarious how we learned about Inosuke. He just took it upon himself to beat the ass of a demon slayer and stole the sword, heard about final selection, and decided to do it. And per Zenitsu, he was the first up the mountain and the first down. Okay, that is everything I want to say. Time for bed. It's March 14th, so less than a month away until season 3, and I'm finally starting volume 5 with my husband on the cover.
You've beaten me at my own game.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
Oh hey, it's April 7th. I haven't checked in a while. I finished Volume 5 a while ago and have not touched the series since then. I am clearly not going to finish the series in time for the season that premieres in 2 days. Let's talk about Volume 5 though before we move on to Volume 6. So Volume 5, I actually have a lot more to say than previous volumes just because I think I've said before this was my favorite arc of Season 1. I totally forgot about Inosuke's encounter with Giyu, and I thought that was hilarious. And I'm noticing Inosuke basically fights whoever he respects. He never explicitly says he respects these people, but he has a funny way of showing it. The way he fights people he hates versus respects is totally different, and it's so comical and I love it. Oh, I also want more of his backstory because he did remember that old lady from the Wisteria cabin, whatever, and I thought that was really cute that he remembered her. But then moving on, we get to the part of the manga that is adapted for episode 19, everyone's favorite episode, and it was really cool. Something that was really cool, because in episode 19, right before Nezuko does her blood demon art, her mom speaks to her, and I thought for some reason, I read somewhere that's anime original, and so I went this whole time thinking it was anime original, but I'm glad it's not. It actually is in the manga. However, there are a few scenes with Shinobu that I was kind of shocked to see how different they are in the anime. Something I wasn't expecting, the whole spider demon portion was mostly anime original. Not that plot point, it was just, I was discussing this with one of my friends because one of my friends has read this and she warned me that the fights, at least in the early days of the manga, are adapted to be better in the anime. I've noticed that because with Shinobu and that demon, that sister demon, in the anime, she taunts her a lot. She does in the manga too, but in the anime, she jumps on the demon and is standing on top of her. The demon can't move, whereas in the manga, it's just a standoff. But also, I guess it makes sense just because she is so small. She's one of the weakest Hashiras. So I guess it actually, the manga does make sense that she's not physically attacking the demon. Insect breathing is not drawn out in the manga. In the manga, it's just sword fighting. But the anime animates that. That I'm just confused. I'm glad the anime took the route they did, but I'm confused why the author didn't draw that out. Maybe she didn't have an idea yet. So after defeating the spider demon, she's still taunting her and still talking, and it's just hilarious because she literally says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't hear me because you're dead. My bad. Teehee." And I love that for her. That's some queen behavior. I also love how sweet but sadistic she is, and I think the voice actress captured that for the anime so perfectly. Maybe I'm just biased because I heard the voice before reading it, but I still love it because that's how I thought of her in the anime as well, sweet but sadistic. I also want to say the reason I actually like this volume the most out of all the volumes I read so far. I did give it 5 out of 5 stars, and that is because of Rui's backstory. I cried. I've said on my channel before, but just in case you're new here, I am a sucker for sympathetic antagonists, sympathetic villains, whatever. And that's actually one of the reasons I love Demon Slayer so much, just because how sympathetic these villains are. Because they could do the most atrocious shit like Rui did, and yet I still feel for them when we know what happened. And it's just so sad that he essentially killed his parents. And it makes me wonder if the whole, his demon blood power with the threads and connecting ties and all, and making ties, all that, it makes me wonder if he has that power because earlier he severed those ties. I also love that his parents give him the unconditional love that he's been searching for during his demon life, and they all go to hell together. That's the part that made me cry, especially in the anime with the music and everything. It was the fact that, yes, they were on their way to hell, but his parents still chose to go with him, because I feel like every child's searching for that unconditional love, and we all hope our parents would love us unconditionally like that. Something I do like about Demon Slayer when it comes to their demons is that, yes, we feel sorry for them, but they're not necessarily going through redemption arcs. I like that most, if not all, of these demons are still going to hell. Yes, we sympathize with them and we feel bad for them, but they are still getting the punishment they deserved, because during their demon lives, they did do terrible things. Not just eating people, which is obviously debatable because that's what they have to live off of. I mean, we could bring up the whole debate that's in Tokyo Ghoul. because that was a whole moral thing of that story. So not only because they're eating people, but just because of how they treat others. An example is Rui. He was pretty terrible to his make-believe family. And not only that, but he was terrible to his parents. And yes, that's a whole other discussion, because I know when you first become a demon, you lose your memories. And like, is it his fault? Is it Muzan's? Whatever, he still deserves some type of punishment, because he was hurting these people, and not only those people, but again, his demon family. My last thing, I could have sworn in the anime that the spider demon sister manipulated a situation where someone got burned. So, because like it was trying to, like the anime was trying to tell you that she treated people like shit too. But I could be confusing scenes. I could be making up scenes. I haven't actually watched season 1 of the anime since 2020. That's my final thoughts on volume 5. So now we're gonna start on Demon. Hello, I can't pick this up. We're gonna start on volume 6. My fave is on the cover for this. So this is obviously the whole like butterfly mansion healing arc, and we're slowly gonna transition to Mugen Train. I also bought volume 5 of Spy Family because I went to Target after seeing the movies. I went to the Super Mario Brother movie today, and that was really fun. Fuck the critics. I had a lot of fun with that movie. Then the other day I watched an anime movie called The Girl Who Left Through Time, which was interesting because I really liked the beginning, really liked the end. The middle is where the guy was kind of losing me. But that's it. That is my check-in. I have 2 days to finish the series in time. It's not gonna happen. I'll just not watch the anime until I'm done. So if I have to watch it in June, July, so be it. It's not that important. It was at this moment, yup, it was at this moment I knew I was meant to ship these two. I knew it was meant to be the moment Shinobu tried stabbing him in the face with her shoe dagger. I finished volume 6. I'm exhausted. It's 1 in the morning. It took me 4 hours to read this because I kept getting distracted by my loud neighbors. So where do we begin? Obviously the volume opens up with everyone being saved. You know, as much as I don't really like Zenitsu because I think he's annoying, I do like how observant he is. I'm noticing that oftentimes chapters are opening up with him just observing his surroundings, and he's kind of giving us the backdrop, like it's Shinobu who's saving everyone. It's these people who are cleaning up. And I feel like when he's observing, that's when he's at his calmest and the least annoying. I'm learning new terms. I forgot about the Kakushi. They're the people who basically clean up after a huge fight. Tsukuko, I think. Kanao is one of them, but it's basically the people being trained by Hashiras. They mentioned that in the anime. I just completely forgot about it. I love how loving Shinobu is, and Zenitsu's the one that actually points that out. How the little spider people would go to her in tears because they felt so safe. Although he mentions some like weird noises she makes. I'm wondering what that means, just because in the anime, I think it wasn't that she was making weird noises. He commented on the sound of her voice. So I wonder what these weird noises are. But then we enter the whole, you know, trial with the Hashira. I mean, it's so funny because I remember getting so mad at this scene. I was pissed at everyone, especially the wind Hashira, Sanami. And it's funny because now I'm reading it, like I'm re-consuming it. It's like, why was I mad? They're demon slayers. Their job is to kill the demons. They don't know anything about Nezuko. Like, what am I mad at them for? Like, I feel bad that my initial reaction was to be so mad at them when, like, actually I don't blame them, and I know if I was in their shoes, I would be mad. Plus, the story's not like, you know, Tokyo Ghoul or Attack on Titan where there's, like, more to the demons. Muzan really is evil. Like, there's no doubt about that. So they have every right to be mad at demons. I love Hashira. I forgot how observant she is. She's not as observant as Zenitsu. Maybe observant's the word I shouldn't be using. She just has a lot of funny side comments, and I love how she literally loves everyone. I mean, I know she's the love Hashira, but it's really cute and endearing. Even when everyone was mad at Giyu, it was her who was like, he's so calm. I did find Shinobu's reactions to everything to be interesting, because I noticed it was her who was trying to hear out Tanjiro. What the fuck is that? Her trying to hear out Tanjiro. I noticed when, the head of the Demon Slayer Corps, I forgot what his actual name was, but I noticed when he came into the picture and he was talking about the Hashiras, how defeated Shinobu seemed. I thought that was interesting, and obviously that does come back, because, you know, they're training and shit. Oh my god, before I move on, there's something I forgot about. Giyu and Yorokodaki made a promise to cut open their stomachs if Nezuko ever eats someone. I forgot all about that. Is that even mentioned in the anime? Totally forgot about that. And then Tanjiro is a part of that pact too. Because I remember the head of the Demon Slayer Corps like being super trusting, but I couldn't remember why, and I thought he trusted too easily. But now it makes a lot of sense. Moving on, so obviously, you know, they're training, they're trying to heal. It's a whole thing. It's really funny. Zenitsu's horny as hell. He was doing it just to be touched by girls. What I found interesting was Tanjiro and Shinobu talking, and she obviously mentions her past, and now we figure out why she seems so defeated during the conversation, just because we know her older sister was killed by a demon, and it is actually her dream to get along with them the best she can. In the anime during this whole thing, there's a death flag. There's a line that Shinobu says that's obviously foreshadowing that she's going to die. Again, I've been spoiled for that. Like, I think in the anime, she says something along the lines of, you know, please keep helping Nezuko, do what you can. Now, knowing you're doing this, I could die happy. But she doesn't really say anything like that in the manga, so I guess the anime is adding more foreshadowing. That's one thing I'm noticing about this author, too. She doesn't use, like, a lot of, like, literary techniques. Like, there's not a lot of foreshadowing. Some of her narration could be a little, like, iffy here and there. And I do love Shinobu as a teacher. She knows the guy's weaknesses, basically. So like Zenitsu, she knows he loves women, so she used that to her advantage, like by saying, like, I'm rooting for you the most, like a woman is rooting for you. Something I thought was cute, when Tanjiro first sees Kanao again, the way it was drawn out, I'm like, oh my god, that's like him falling in love at first sight, because I do know they get together by the end, and it was really cute when he beat her. However, there was her past wasn't in this volume. I'm wondering if we're gonna get it at a different volume. That whole thing with Tanjiro encouraging her, not needing the coin anymore, blah blah blah, that wasn't in this either. And I'm only bringing it up because we saw the lower ranks, and we meet the lower rank one, who's obviously going to be one of the antagonists from Mugen Train. So I'm wondering if everything is just, if that's how volume 7's gonna start. I don't know, I thought that was confusing. But again, I have been noticing the anime's switching things around when it comes to this manga, filling in the gaps. I don't want to say she's a bad writer, because she's not. And I love her, like I said, I love her character designs. I love her ideas. It's kind of obvious to me, this author is newer at writing, and it would actually be hilarious if she's not new at all and she's been in the game for a while. But to me, she comes off as new and got like extremely lucky. I mean, no disrespect, and she seems very thankful when I read her author's notes in the books, but it's just, I'm realizing how many gaps the anime had to fill for this story. Like I said, we meet the lower ranks. Muzan's terrible, and it makes me wonder why anyone would want to join him. I guess for the power, but there's so much he requires from you. Like, in order to stay a Kazuki, you need to kill the Hashiras, and it has to be so scary working for him because he could read your mind, and then you can't even say his name, and you can't contradict him. So if he says the sky is red and you know it's blue, God forbid you say it's blue. Like, you have to agree with him. Like, and this, it shows how scary he is and how manipulative and terrible. He was asking these poor demons questions, and they tried answering him, but they didn't have the answers he wanted, so he just accused them of contradicting him and killing them, because contradicting's wrong. He also makes for a great woman. He looks so pretty as a woman. But it ends with him killing a bunch of the lower moons, the lower Kazuki. And it's like, I have mixed feelings about that, because it's like, did you just kill them off? Because he says, too, I'm thinking of dismantling them, since Rui couldn't survive. And I know Rui was one of his favorites. But it's like, okay, as the author, from a writer's choice, did the author choose to do that just for convenience? But also, we can twist it to her doing that to show how terrifying, and I don't want to say mindless, not careless, thoughtless, unsympathetic he is, because he just killed these people without a thought. He didn't even let them go free. He was like, yeah, I don't need you anymore. So rather than you guys being free from me, I'm just going to get rid of you altogether. And then the nightmare dream demon was like, oh my god, thank you. And I love hearing the cries of other people, so you know a sadistic asshole's coming into the story. And he got more blood, and it ended with him being really excited, because he's been tasked to kill a Hashira and also Tanjiro. I'm wondering, did she do all that for the convenience? Or was it to really show how evil this guy is? Because I feel like it could go either way. Again, not to insult her writing, it's just, I read so many books, I watch so many movies, I've seen so many TV shows. Sometimes I can pick up on things when it comes to like writer's choice or just literary techniques in general, and like stuff like that makes me wonder. but it's also Demon Slayer, so maybe I shouldn't think too deep into it. All that to say, I did enjoy this volume. It's at least a 3.5 out of 5-star read, at most a 4 out of 5-star read. I don't have anything like majorly bad to say about it. Also, I love what's her name, Aoi. She gives me Inosuke vibes, and it makes me wonder if they're gonna be together by the end, but we will see. Okay, so it's, yeah, like I said, it's 1 a.m. I haven't actually eaten dinner yet. My bad. So I'm gonna go do that, watch some YouTube, and I will check in whenever I whenever I read volume 7. Okay guys, be proud of me because it's only a few days later and I'm reading the next volume, volume 7. I love this color, like I'm obsessed with that green. Demon Slayer season 3 has premiered, but I'm avoiding Twitter right now because I don't want any spoilers. We're about to start the Mugen Train arc, which I heard was really short, so I can't imagine how much space it's going to take up in the manga, but we'll see. Something I forgot to mention actually in the last wrap up. Okay, I moved indoors because I can hear my neighbors outside and I don't want them to hear me. But as I was saying, Tanjiro made a comment about how Kanao's eyes are just different. She could see things differently. And I have noticed, and I noticed this with the anime, Tanjiro has a great sense of smell. Zenitsu has a great sense of hearing. And then what's his face? It's not like explicitly said, but it's highly implied that Inosuke is really sensitive to touch because that's why he doesn't wear a shirt. So it makes me wonder if Kanao has like a good sense of sight and she's going to be joining like their little found family and each person is based off one of the 5 senses. And if that's the case, it makes me wonder who the other one's gonna be, like a sense of taste. If I'm even right. I have no idea if this theory is even correct. Okay, but that's all I have to say. I'm gonna go back outside and read this. It's a gorgeous day. It's gonna be like in the 70s all week this week in Chicago. Next week it's gonna be back in the 40s. So I'm trying to soak up some sun. I have been indoors constantly the past few weeks. Gonna soak up some sun, gonna read as much as I can for a couple hours, and then I will check in then. I just started Tanjiro's dream. I'm literally 2 panels in. I'm crying already. Hi, so it's another day and I'm still reading this volume. And I just got to the part that made me bawl my eyes out in the theater. I was the only one crying, and it was when Rokuda was yelling for him, and you can't see it well, but I'm tearing up. Okay, just a quick check-in before I make my review for Volume 7, which I have finished. I just take forever to do those reviews. But good thing that I've already been spoiled for Shinobu's death, for my fave dying, because I would have gotten another spoiler anyway, because I was scrolling through Twitter just now. On the For You page, I should probably stop doing that and just do the people I follow. But a page I don't even follow came up and said, wow, wait until this is animated, and it's a picture of Shinobu holding Doma's head. Okay. Make this, but without the avocado, because I do not like avocado. It tastes like dead grass. Hey friends, so it's May 12th. I finished volume 7 like a good month ago and just never picked up anything ever again. But I do want to get to volume 8 tonight. I really want to watch the anime. I'm not getting like spoilers per se, but I did see some frames on Twitter and it's looking pretty great. And my friend's watching it. She loves it. I know it's like 5 episodes deep right now, and I think the 6th one comes out tomorrow, so over halfway there. What can I say about volume 7? What a ride. Definitely one of my favorite volumes so far. It just caught me off guard. It started out hilarious, then action-packed, and suddenly I was crying, and then it was back to being action-packed all over again. I absolutely love that Inosuke was suspicious of the train since the very beginning. It's just that his suspicion was masked as comedy, so that's why it didn't really hit me at first. I noticed the scene with the lead Demon Slayer corpse dude at the beginning of the movie where he's in the cemetery. That's anime original. I laughed, cried, and gasped all in one sitting, but I was crying because of the boy with tuberculosis. I cried for Tanjiro's memories. It was a rough go, but so well done. I know I had issues in the beginning of my reading experience with the way the author was drawing her or was writing out her action and just how choppy the pacing felt, but she definitely has found her footing by now. I thought the pacing of this manga was amazing, definitely one of the best. And manga readers were right. This is a very short arc because volume 7 ends with Enmu dying. But that's really all I have to say for that. I want to get into volume 8. This one I'm a little worried about because I know Rengoku is going to die, and I know we're going to meet Akaza in this volume as well. So let's get to reading. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I remember thinking this watching the anime too. I am disappointed we don't really get Enmu's backstory like we do with other demons. That caught me off guard, but I am interested in that. Okay, having said that, let's get reading. He didn't die yet, but Tanjiro just yelled at Akaza. Yeah, and you guys get to see my messy hair because I don't have my hat on, but it's not dead yet, and I'm already sobbing. I'm not done with the chapter, but his mom just told him he did such a good job, and he died smiling, and I fucking can't. Oh my god, I didn't think I watched the fucking movie. I watched it in TV show form, so I've seen the scene twice. Didn't think I was gonna fucking sob reading it too. No, but I bet this dude is hot behind that mask. Alright, it's 2 in the morning. I have finished volume 8 of Demon Slayer. Fuck, what a fucking ride, man. Oh man, I knew what was coming and I still sobbed like that. I sobbed like a baby. Man, Kyojiro, Rengoku, whatever I want to call him, his death is rough because he's a very likable character, which I think a lot of people can agree on. It's just the way his death kind of just destroyed me because, you know, the earlier flashback with his mom saying, you know why you're born strong so you could save the weak, and just for him in near death to see her spirit, and for him to be like, did I do my job correctly? And she's like, splendidly, and he dies crying, or not crying. Well, I'm fucking crying. That's what's happening here. He dies smiling. He always has a smile on his face, and he was the only one to die. He saved everyone on the train. What a fucking way to go. Oh my god. And seeing even Inosuke was crying, I think this is actually the part where I really started to like Inosuke. Like, I went from liking him to actually loving him as a character here, seeing him finally cry for someone, because I think that is character development. Like, Inosuke feels for someone. Oh my goodness. And then Tanjiro yelling at Akaza, that made me cry in the anime as well, just hearing his voice break like that. And he's right, like, these demons are... It's, like, hard to say, because, yes, I want to call them cowards, but they also can't help it. Like, they have to fight at night, because if they fight in the sun, they die. But I guess they are cowards in the sense. They're too afraid to even attempt to not fight at night. You know what I mean? But Rengoku accepted Nezuko into the Demon Slayer Corps. All the Hashida's reaction to as he was dying, and everyone was shocked, because, like, that's how you know he's, like, super strong. Like, even the Hashida were saying, like, even he couldn't beat, like, an Upper Moon 3, or an Upper Moon demon in general. So that's how you know Rengoku is strong. But that's how you know the Upper Moon demons are strong, too, because even, like, the strongest Hashira couldn't kill them. And I did see Daki's shadow, because I know Daki comes into the next arc. One thing I want to mention too, and I thought that was really nice, the 4 kids who were tying themselves up to our cast and crew here, even they survived. But I cried on 2 occasions, not just Rengoku's death, but his father fucking killed me when he's screaming out Rengoku's name, because you could see he's just like, that poor man, like his wife died and now his older son. And I hope Senjuro gets a happy ending. This is also the volume, just to go off topic here, this is also the volume where we find out that Hinokami Kagura, or the sun breathing, is the first ever breathing technique, and clearly it's kind of scaring Rengoku's father, so that's an interesting take. The last chapter was Tengen trying to steal Aoi, and then Naho, one of the 3 girls. I love how the 3 girls are obsessed with Tanjiro. Oh, but before that, we met the sword maker dude getting really mad at Tanjiro because Tanjiro chucked his sword away. Didn't even, like, swipe it. He threw it away. My dude. But then we do eventually get to meet Tengen. He was gonna kidnap Aoi, that poor girl, because we know how scared she is to actually fight demons. And the fear in her face, that was so well drawn. And Kanao made a big leap. Got some big characterization for Kanao, because before, she can only make choices with a coin, or just blindly follow what people told her to do. But rather than using her coin, she remembered what Tanjiro said and was able to make that choice herself. The choice to hold back Aoi and Naho. She made that choice herself. I love to see it, and we're only on volume 8, which means she's gonna, hopefully, going to make leaps and bounds for characterization in the future, and I can't wait to see that. But yeah, our 3 guys, they pulled up, they're on their way to the Entertainment District with Tengen, and the next volume starts the Entertainment District arc, and I really liked that arc in the anime. I cried at the end. I cried for Daki and Gyutaro. Oh, and I did forget to mention, because I remember being upset we didn't see Kanao's backstory, and I was forgetting the thing goes anime original. We do see it at the end of volume 7. Poor Kanao, man. She came so far. Great volume, 5 out of 5 to get me to cry like that. I'm gonna go to bed because it's 2 in the morning, and hopefully I don't wait another month to start volume 9.
We shall meet again soon, beautiful woman.
Hello, long time no see. I have not updated in a couple months since I last picked up Demon Slayer, but a lot has gone on. I've moved. I moved out of Chicago and out of the state of Illinois, and I've just been out and about, haven't had time to read, but I do plan on reading Demon Slayer tonight, and I bought a lot of stuff just so I can binge it. But just to catch you guys up, I do live in Philadelphia now, as you've probably guessed by all the things I was including in that montage. Today I went to 2 comic book stores and a Japanese themed store. So I went to a comic book store in the Old City neighborhood, where a lot of the historical stuff was. I stopped by the Carpenter's Hall, got to talking to the employees there, super nice. Philadelphians are so much nicer than Chicagoans. But then I left, I went to another comic book store, then I went to a store called Ebisu Japanese Life Store, bought some stuff, picked up a package, then I came home, and I'm here to show the haul. All right, so at the first store, I bought one Funko Pop that's not anime related, Star Wars related. It's Luke Skywalker. Then at the second comic book store, I bought a Funko Pop for Tomie, and I bought 3 volumes of Demon Slayer at that comic book store. And my nasty ass couch that I need to clean, this apartment picks up dust so easily, it's driving me insane. But I bought volume 13, volume 14, volume 15. I know this guy, he's so hot, but I know this guy is not involved in the Swordsmith Village arc, so I'm assuming a new arc starts in this volume. Then at the Japanese store, I was planning on buying some anime merch, but I wasn't really feeling what they had. I wanted some Spy X Family figurines and like these little, what the fuck are they called? You put a quarter in, spin the dial, you get something. It was $8, and I was like, I am absolutely not doing that. But this store has nothing but Japanese products, so I did buy some ramen, and I bought a grape soda, but that's currently in the fridge. I wanted to buy so much more. It all looks so good. But then the last thing, which I bought on Prime Day, and it's the package I got, but that is Darth, a Funko Pop of Darth Maul, which is hard to see because of the reflections. But yeah, that's my update. I am going to watch Nimona, and then I'll get comfy, change into some PJs, and start reading. So it's a few hours later. I just finished Nimona as of July 19th. Wanted to be done with the series by now, but what can you do? As of July 19th, I am starting volume 9 of Demon Slayer. We're at the beginning of the Entertainment District arc, which is the last season that I've seen. I have season 3's completed, but I have not seen that yet. So for about 2 or 3 more volumes, I will be reading things that I know of already. So I'm excited to get through these so I can start the new stuff. But let's get started. The goal is to finish this by tonight. I wanted to be her so bad when watching this part of the anime, and I was semi-convinced that she was his favorite wife. In canon, I don't know what the actual answer is, but that's my headcanon, and I just wish I was her. Alright, so I finished volume 9, and I'm gonna give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. I don't really have a lot to say to this like the other volumes where I would just ramble. The beginning was a bit slow, but that just could be the fact that, you know, I knew what was coming. And then the pacing picked up near the end. So it was fine. I didn't really notice anything that was different from the anime as far as I remember. And of course, like, maybe I should save this for another volume, but of course I did notice similarities between the 3 women and the 3 boys. Makio's like Inosuke, Suma's like Zenitsu, Hinatsuru. Is that her name? Hinatsuru's like Tanjiro. The author's actually really good at making parallels, and I really do like it. That's it. That's really all I have to say. It's clearly like more, the first half of this volume is more of like a transitionary period between the arcs. I think that's why I'm struggling to just put my thoughts into words. Daki's also gorgeous. Like for what? For no reason. I mean, she should be gorgeous given her job, I guess. And like I know, like I read somewhere she's Muzan's favorite. She's fucking gorgeous, and the attention to detail in her kimono, this piece of hair, and her kimono was amazing. But that being said, it's only 1:30 in the morning. I don't really want to go to bed until 3, so I'm gonna start volume 10. I may not finish it. We'll see how fast I read, but it's not a goal to finish it, so I'll check in when it's done. Actually, you know what's exciting though? I just logged it into my Goodreads, and I've reached my reading goal for 2023. My goal was 30 books. Demon Slayer Volume 9 was my 30th book. Also, look at my poster. And Shinobu. My friend from New Zealand sent me that. I'm still waiting to get stuff to post it on this wall. Just kidding, I fell asleep. So it's the next day, the next night, July 20th. Now I'm gonna start Volume 10. Okay, I'm only 4 chapters into this volume, but I have to stop for the night because I do need to go to bed to get up at 6 in the fucking morning tomorrow for work. But this volume's already so much better than the last volume. I really liked the Entertainment District arc when I was watching the anime, but so many thoughts. When it comes to like the opening chapter of this, I really do love the love he has for his wives, and I wish I'm a monogamous person. But I wish I had someone who loved me like that, you know? Otherwise, I would join the clan if I wasn't monogamous, but alas, here we are. And I just want someone to love me the way he loves them. But the fights with Tanjiro and Daki are so good. What's-his-face was introduced? Yoriichi. I was so confused when watching the anime. Confused in the best way possible because, you know, the whole, like, red mark thing. Like, the Sun Breathers had a red mark, and Tanjiro was like, no, that can't be me. First of all, Rengoku's dad opened that chapter, and I almost cried reading that. Ooh, shedding tears again. But Tanjiro has that red mark, which he's like, no, I like gained this, wasn't born with it. But Yoriichi has the red mark, and he has the earrings. I think it's so funny that Muzan was so traumatized by that guy. I don't even think his name was dropped yet. I just happen to know the name from like Twitter and all that. But I just think it's so funny that Muzan was so traumatized from that dude that Daki got scared and remembered him from like his blood being in her body. I think that's hilarious. The manga made it more clear, the whole like physical stamina versus the life force. I forgot about that, but I remember being kind of confused in the anime, but it's so much clearer in the manga. While Tanjiro's like literally on his deathbed, Nezuko comes in clutch, and she looks really cool with that transformation. I think she looks awesome like that, and I would love to cosplay that. I would love to cosplay as Daki, but I would also love to cosplay as Nezuko in her true demon form. And right now, she just stabbed her leg through Daki, and she's changing, and then Tanjiro's having like a vision of sorts of a dead brother telling him Nezuko has changed, and like Tanjiro's freaking out. That's where we're at, and I've seen the anime, so I know what's coming, but I'm still so excited to finish this volume. I'm so upset I have to wait until tomorrow after work. Ooh, this is already 5 out of 5 stars. Hello. I don't actually know how long it's been. It is August 19th though. Have not read another volume since the last time I checked in. You can still see my mess. I still have yet. I've been in Philly for almost 3 months now, and I haven't unpacked everything. I need to buy shit before I could begin. All my artwork is still on the ground and not up there. Anyway, but I did finish volume 10. I finished it like the night I last checked in, and I was too tired. So that's why I didn't actually like say anything. Just some things I found interesting. I didn't really realize this while watching the anime, because as you know, Daki is actually 13 years old. When she's on her own, she acts like a grown woman, but it is interesting that once Gyutaro comes into the picture, she actually regresses. Because now that he's here and fighting alongside her, she's definitely acting more like a young child, like throwing tantrums. She almost kind of lost confidence in herself. Like, she's obviously taunting the others, but just in a way that's different than when she was first introduced to the story. I cried when Nezuko cried, because, you know, the whole lullaby thing. Ooh, I do like the parallels of Gyutaro and Uzui, like, aesthetically. It is cool that a character like Gyutaro, who's kind of going on this, like, power trip against Uzui, or Tengen, whatever I've been calling him. He has his 2 sickles, like, Tenzin has his 2 swords. They have those, like, rings on their arms, and they're both very powerful for what they are. And obviously there is the parallel of Gyutaro and Daki and Nezuko and Tanjiro. That one's very, I think, very obvious. You know, Gyutaro and Daki are what Tanjiro and Nezuko could have been if a demon found them instead of Gyu Tomioka. I do have a few more hours before I need to hit the hay for work tomorrow morning. So we're gonna read volume 11. I believe this is the last volume of the Entertainment District arc, because then I could start the Sword Village arc, which is new territory for me. So we're gonna get going with this. I love this design on Nezuko. I want to cosplay this so bad. She looks so good here.